One of these days, y'all, I'm going to get this podcast and video podcast, whatever you want to call it, like under control and posting every week. And it's going to take a while because my life is slightly crazy right now, but it's going to slowly get there. So, just want to cover some news in the NHL. I did watch the games. I watched some football games too, but I think some of this stuff is a little more important than talking about the games. So we're gonna get right into it. I'm Boon. This is Boon Talks Sports. Let's get into it. So Milan Lucic gets charged with domestic violence. That, in a way, doesn't surprise me. I feel like when you look at him, he's just a gronk. He's crazy. So obviously I don't want to typecast him, but when I heard the news, I was surprised that something like that actually hasn't come out earlier. Um, it's very unfortunate. I wanted him to be a good guy and everything, but um, the news came out. Obviously, he pled not guilty. I mean, what person would plead guilty to those kind of charges? He choked his wife in front of some kids, because the kids were having a sleepover at the time. I think that is crazy. I don't even like talking about this because it's disgusting, and it whether it's a man on a woman or a man on a man or a woman on a man or a woman on a woman, whatever you want to call it, it just should never happen. Domestic violence should never happen. I don't understand why it does. If you've got so much anger in you that you are going to be violent towards someone that you're supposed to love, or violent towards anyone, really, you need help. Go get help. And the fact that it got so far that, he got charged for it and everything, and I haven't looked up the case since I heard the news first drop, but that's just wild. And quite honestly, I really hope he doesn't come back to the NHL. I think it's ridiculous. Um, I think that the way that the league handles stuff like that, not only the NHL but also the NBA and other leagues as well, but the NBA, Miles Bridges got charged in whatever that situation was for a similar thing, and he's back playing ball and in the pros, and it's like what kind of role models are we setting up for our kids, for the younger generation who look up to these players and these people, and they want to get into the CHL, and they want to get into the NBA, and like I it's just mind-blowing how, like, the NBA didn't give a shit and they let him back into the league. Josh Giddey right now, he's in the middle of a controversy, which I just found out right before I started filming this, that the Oklahoma City Thunder knew about this for the past year and they were fine with it. Like, your pro player that is like I think he's like a starting point guard or something. He's dating someone underage. Like, consent or not, that is fucked up. That is weird. And apparently she lied about her age. I don't know what you wanna say, but the fact that, like, they knew about it and were okay with it and still let him play, and now it's coming out to the public and everything, it's gross and it's nasty, and it's like it just blows my mind how every league handles stuff so poorly. And it breaks my heart for the younger generation because it lines people up to joke about this stuff, and it hurts the people that are affected, and it hurts the people that are not only in the league but like outside of the league, you know? Like if you're joking about domestic violence and you're joking about dating someone under the age and you're joking about all of that stuff, like the people that are actually going through that shit, like they're gonna see that and know that you're a piece of shit, you know? That you're gonna be joking about that stuff and they'll never come to you for advice or to find a safe space, you know, to talk to about it. And I just think it's so screwed up. And it hurts my heart so much because the fact that we've gotten to a point where it's just a laughable thing is just screwed up. And the fact that you can beat someone and still go right back to your millions of dollars paying job like you didn't miss a beat and nothing happened, like it's just screwed up to me. And I hate the fact that we got to this point, you know? Like dude in Ottawa got like a 40 game suspension or whatever, 41 game suspension, half the freaking year for gambling on not even hockey. Like they proved that it wasn't even hockey that he was gambling with, or gambling on, whatever, betting on, whatever you want to call it. But and he gets 41 games, but you know, Jacob Trouba two hands Trent Frederick in the fucking head, and he can come back only having to pay a $5,000 fine. Like years ago, like 23 years ago or whatever, the same incident happened and it was a career ender to the player. And the fact that like Jacob Trouba got away with it with just a $5,000 fine, and like that's nothing to them. That's chump change. That's like you spend that in a day. Like that is absolutely nothing to these players who are making 5 to 11 million, even the 1 millions. Like that means nothing. And I can't wrap my head around it. Like you can get two-handed in the head and get $5,000 charge, but if you want to wear a goalie mask that is honoring your wife and kids and their heritage, you're screwed. Especially if you're one of the most respected goalies in the league, Marc-Andre Fleury, by the way, if you don't know who I'm talking about. But you know, just it screws with my mind so much, and it hurts to know that we got to a place like this where you can't wear a goalie mask, but you can two-hand a player, like two-hand slash a player in the head, or you can beat up your wife and still come back and play ball or play hockey, like it. And you can't gamble on other sports or whatever it was, like it hurts. I don't understand, you know? And you can have a solid team and get fired like Jay Woodcroft, but all of these other things and these other scandals are just getting pushed under the rug, you know? It hurts to think about for the younger generation, because what kind of example are we setting for the younger generation, you know? That it's okay to beat your wife because there's not going to be any repercussions because you get to come back to the league and play ball for another year, however the season is, and you still get your paycheck at the end of the month or whatever, and you still get hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you know you can literally slash a guy across the head and still come back with nothing. Like, I don't know. It really screws with my brain, honestly. And I hope that these leagues start taking this stuff seriously, because the fact that Josh Giddey is still playing and he doesn't have to answer to anything because he's dating someone under the age, like, that is just screwed up to me, right? And I don't get it. 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 Anyways, today's just a quick video just explaining that stuff and getting my thoughts out there, because I don't know. It screws with my mind and the future of hockey and basketball and just sports in general. Anyways, I'm Boon. This is Boon Talks Sports. I'll see you on Friday.